What is up? What is up? What is up, guys? This is Ray. I'm from Alluring Serpents, and you are now tuned into my favorite reptile podcast, where we talk about business and the mindset behind the successful business owners in the reptile industry. If you're returning, you already know. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate you guys, all the support that I've been getting, and all the reshares and all the comments and the messages. Like, just super grateful. Like, thank you all so much, really. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy the show where we provide a lot of useful information to help you along your journey to a successful business in the reptile industry. Go ahead and smash that like button if you're here. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a live, because it's better to catch a live than it is to catch a replay. Um, what else? Oh yeah, listen. So this is the first time we're doing this, and hopefully it's working good. Matt from American Made Exotics, we actually are streaming on this platform, my favorite reptile podcast, but we're also streaming on his YouTube channel, American Made Exotics. So if you're on his channel, thank you so much for being here, and if you're on mine, thank you so much for being here. After the show, make sure you go over there and give his page a like, follow him on Instagram. His links are in the description below, and so are mine. So if you're not following me already on any social media platforms, you can check me out. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on. Let me shout out the chat real quick, and then we will get the show on and pop it. Let's see who we got. Lou Balls, what up, yo? Appreciate you being here. Blakers, what's popping? How's it going? Eric's Morph Factory. Let's get this Friday started. Yes. And actually, if you're just tuning in and this is your first time here, after this show, we have another show on Keys Constrictor's YouTube channel where we do something called Hair Down Friday. And it's a bunch of reptile keepers, and we all get together and it's like kicking it in the living room. And we talk reptiles and we talk projects and snakes and all kinds of fun stuff. So definitely tune into that after this show. And yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Who else we got? Emilio Villarino Reptiles. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here, man. Hope you're enjoying. Friday, Keys Constrictors YouTube. Make sure you check that out. Morph Master J, what's going on? I'm gonna be cooking, but I'm watching and listening. So if you hear the fire trucks coming, I was doing more watching than cooking. Yo, be careful, man. You're gonna need your hands, bro. Uh, yeah, don't hurt yourself. Yo, hyperspace. Appreciate you. What's going on, big dog? The ambassador himself, Bosa Balls. Let's go. Nice, man. Glad I could provide something for you to listen to while you're driving, bro. Appreciate that. Mitzian, always lots of love. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Creative. Yep. Yo, who else we got? Joey D. Joey D. Woo! Let's go. Y'all could actually check out Joey D live every Saturday night on Wiz Constrictor's YouTube channel. Sophisticated Ignorance Podcast. Definitely go check that out. You can check out the Wizza and you can check out Joey D. It's definitely a good time. So I'm gonna hit. Oh, there he is. Morph Valley Reptiles. What up? What up? What up? What up? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you very much. I'm gonna run that intro video and we're gonna bring Matt out. It's gonna be a great time. What up? What up? What up? Big Matt.
What's up, man?
What's going on, brother? Yo, excited to have you on the show, man. Thank you for being here and taking time out of your day.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get off work early tonight, man.
Nice, man. Yeah, it's nice to be able to relax sometimes.
Yeah, man.
All right, so listen, man. You are like, what'd you say? You said you were like something where everyone knows you, but not everybody knows you, right?
Oh man, we known unknown, bro. A lot of
The
people
most
know it, but we stay in the house too much, man. A lot of people don't know us at all, man. So
the most known unknown person, and you guys are about to know Matt personally, and you are in for a treat. So if you're here and you don't know Matt, make sure you go check him out on all of his social media platforms. Go check out his YouTube. Make sure you sub, hit that notification bell. He's dropping videos consistently, and it's always some banger shit going on.
yeah,
He's pulling clutches, doubles, triples. You working on quads too, right?
yeah, man. I get a couple shots, dude.
Yeah,
I
amazing
think there's
stuff.
a lot of us out there, man. People that just in their own little world and they tuck up in the snake building, man. And nobody really knows who they are or what they got, man. But they've been putting in work, for a decade. I think there's a lot of us out there like that, man.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And that's the beauty of what I'm trying to do with this show is highlight and showcase people that are successful business owners in the industry, but really don't have their name out there just yet.
Yeah,
I think it's important for you and for other people like you, where you're doing amazing things, man, and people deserve to know who you are and what you're doing as much as you deserve everyone to know who you are.
I appreciate it, bro, for sure, man. The main
Yeah,
thing is,
absolutely.
we get so stuck on where we're trying to go, man, that the progression's so slow you don't realize how far you've come. And
Yeah,
same time, man, I want to make sure I share all the information I learned the hard way with a lot of people that are back where I started at 14 years ago, man. And if I can
yeah.
save them some heartache and they can learn from my mistakes and maybe not make them, then it's important to take the time to do that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I always say this little saying. I say, "Learn together, grow together, succeed together."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the most important thing because if the industry is growing and we're
Mhm.
providing people information so that they can be more successful, it's like a spider web effect, right?
Right.
And the more people we hit and the more people we bring into the industry, the better it is for everybody. You just got to
Right.
be able to put in the work. You can't be
Right.
one of those lazy guys sitting on your ass expecting everything to come to you, right?
Yeah, especially what we're doing, man. A lot of our customers, and a lot of us that are breeding ball pythons, are customers of people that are trying to breed ball pythons. So
Hmm.
nobody can just want to have all the money for themselves, man. You want all your peers to do good too, because if we all are doing good, I know the first thing I do when I sell a good sized snake deal, man, is I go buy a new snake too. It all just getting spent around the hobby, man, from
Yeah.
buying more snakes to you buying rodents, you're buying new snake racks. It all just keeps going full circle, man. So you want everybody else to do good because it's going to come full circle with you again, man.
Yeah, and I like that you said that, man. Like you can't have the mentality that you want the entire pie. The pie is way too big for just one person. So it's okay if other people eat.
Yeah, it has
You
to,
know?
man. And especially in this, a lot of people do have that mentality, man. Like, yeah, there's a lot of money on the table, and some people want to try to get all of it. But how does that work if we have a market where your customers are buying animals with the intentions of breeding them and then making money too? If you eat the whole pie and there's nothing left, then why would they even buy it from you to begin with, man? Then
Yeah, yeah,
it just doesn't work, dude. The
yeah. It's a
mentality
it's a selfish mentality, right?
for sure. You want everybody to do good, man, because then they're going to come shop with you. They're going to shop with somebody else. They're going to
Yep,
get new people into the hobby that you've never met. Then that person's going to get more people into the hobby. It all just grows exponentially, man. If we all work together and help each other and root each other on, and you want to see everybody else do good, a
yeah, one
lot of
hundred
people
percent.
like they struggle with that too, man. They can't tip their hat to somebody else, man, and that's necessary, dude. We all doing different things, have different visions. Um,
Yeah,
somebody,
and there's so many genetics that it's like it's almost impossible to have um too many people working the same thing. You
yeah,
know, there's endless genetics out there. There's endless possibilities of combinations.
for sure.
Um, yeah. Yo, listen, let me.
Many times, bro, that I've sold somebody an animal, and then we get talking and stuff, man, and they tell you their vision of what they're gonna do with that. You'll be like, damn, that's a good idea, man. I tip my hat to you, dude, because I had it, and I'm so fixated on something else and what I'm doing that like I wouldn't even have thought to go that direction with it. But like, you
Yeah,
can't do everything, man. You know, do you, man? I want to see what you do with it and see you do well. Maybe I'll get something back in the future from them. But we all have
exactly.
vision, man. There's so many colors and pattern morphs and all that, man. Like,
Yep.
it's just like ice cream, bro. Nobody goes in and has one ice cream flavor in the store, dude. There's 300 flavors because we all like something different, man.
Yeah, when I was talking to you the other day, I love when you said, it's a different industry now because we're working with a 64 pack of crayons
Yeah.
compared to what you guys used to have, which was like a 4 pack of crayons from the
Yeah,
restaurant.
bro. We had the thing that get the kids free at the restaurant, man. 4 colors, dude. Let's see what you can do with your 4 colors.
You got
And
pied, yellow belly, albino,
yeah,
and
man. And you get into it now, and it's like, man, there's just so much going on that
yeah,
it's just an infinite amount of combinations. You take one animal and you go 100 different directions with that and do something totally different, man.
yeah,
I guarantee you, if you take this collection of snakes and you gave it to 100 different people, they're all going to do something totally different with it.
yeah.
Nobody's going to do the same thing and have the same vision, and that's really cool about it these days. Back then, man, it's like you get the pastel and you get the spider, man. We're all just trying to make a bumblebee. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like nowadays, it's just not like that, man. There's so many different directions that you can go with everything. Like really,
Yeah.
your imagination is the limit with it.
And that's why we're able to maneuver the way we do now is because it's not so cutthroat. Like we don't have the entire industry trying to make bumblebees,
Yeah.
right? We have the entire industry with such a variety on the palette that you know bumping heads with somebody is rare. And even if you do it, you guys can't produce enough snakes to take care of the demand.
Yeah, and if you do, man, it's almost kind of your own fault to an extent too, man. Because I think a lot of the people that get in those predicaments where they're like, "Oh, stuff's not selling," like they're all chasing somebody else's vision and trying to
Yeah,
cookie cutter copy that one person, man. And of course, you're gonna have that if you got a group of people trying to duplicate what somebody else is doing. Whereas you
yep,
could have been like, "Man, that's really cool. I like what he did. What could you do to make that better, or what could you do to make that different?" And then
yes,
that everybody's going to have a different vision and everybody's going to go a different direction, man. So I think
yeah,
that's one of the main things people got to really learn to just kind of do your own thing and do what you like. We were talking about it the other day, man. There's plenty of stuff I work with that, like, I know I have a bad tendency with it, or I guess bad is I like a lot of stuff that people don't like, man. And I'll still work them projects. I say chocolate is an example. I worked chocolate in the beginning and I really liked it and I was really passionate about it. I
mhm,
made a ton of animals that like I thought they were super dope and they'd sit on the table or sit on king snake and nobody wanted it, man. You couldn't give a chocolate away. I'd be like, fine, man, I'll keep it because I got an idea. I can do something different with it. And I
yeah,
kept working the project. And then, if somebody makes something with chocolate that's like, man, this is really cool. And then not everybody wants to get in on chocolate. It's like,
yeah.
gosh, I
Chocolate,
remember
chocolate
years
is
ago,
hot
you
right
couldn't
now.
give it away.
Yeah, chocolate is hot right now. That's the same thing with like spot nose or red stripe. Like all these genes were already here.
Yeah, man, spot nose, you couldn't like give that away, dude. Back then, people were like, man, that's lame. And now it's like in everything. So
Yep,
I think it's really key, man, that if you like something, work that project and it might not necessarily come to you right then, but the market might come to you in the future, man. And at the end of the
right.
day, if you're doing something you're passionate about and you like, somebody else is gonna at least share that with you, man, that they think it looks cool too.
Yeah, because like if here's the thing, if you see something that you like, you don't know how long it really took the person to make that combo, right?
Right.
So your perspective should be, um, I want to get that combo, but then in your mind you already have to have kind of like a thought process of what else am I going to do with that? How do I grow that
Cool.
project specifically?
For
You
sure.
know, we were talking about the Batman, right?
So
You got
far
some
down the
people,
road.
yeah, you got to look far down the road, man. Like some people look at Batman and they're like, oh, I just want to make a Batman. Now it's
Yeah,
cool. The Batman's beautiful. It's a beautiful animal. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But there has to be more than just I want to make a Batman.
yeah,
I want to make a Batman with DG in it. I want to make a Batman Monsoon. I
yeah.
want to make a Batman example,
Well, there's
right?
different levels to it, man. I look at it like this, dude. It's like chess and checkers. It's the same board, but it's two totally different games, man.
Yeah, I
And
love
some
it.
people just ain't really trying to play chess and be thinking that far ahead. Like you got to be thinking 4 moves down the road and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
but again, man, some people want to do this, some people want to do that, and that's fine
Yep.
to each their own. But
But like if you want to grow, you can't you
you
got to
want to
have
take
that
it serious,
vision.
man? Yeah, bro, you got to have a vision. You got to be looking 4 moves ahead to be
Yep.
making moves, or else it's a lot of money to get thrown around and not necessarily be invested wisely if you're
Yeah,
not
you're
looking.
almost always behind, right? You're always trying to play the catch-up game instead of
Dude,
creating.
that's the biggest thing that took me forever with trying to do the YouTube, man, because I'm so fixated on trying to make it and get to where I'm trying to go that
Yeah.
you lose touch of how far you've come. But like I said, man, I'm so fixated on years down the road. People are like, man, I have a few good friends that really pushed me, man. Levance, Straight Fire, really pushed me to share more. He's like,
Yeah.
Chef, man, like you got all this cool stuff, and you showed me and like 3 people. You know what I mean? He was like, why don't you just put it on Facebook or Instagram or something and like show everybody? And it's like,
Yeah.
man, I'm not where I'm trying to be yet, if that makes sense, man. So you kind of, it's easy for me as a perfectionist, man. But I think that is the breeder mentality, and I'm starting to accept that. That like I'm probably never gonna feel like I made it to where I'm trying to go because we're always evolving. We're always
actually
there's always something in the collection that you feel like it's not done. I need to
yes.
do something better. I need to do this different. This got to be farther. Like I've been trying to trim the fat on my collection for a decade, bro. And it's just
So
like I always feel like I'm not where I need to be, man.
it's really funny that you brought that up with Levance, right? How he pushes you to get out there and put your name out
Yeah,
there and
man.
show your projects because he's somebody who doesn't really he'll show you some shit, but he won't even tell you what's in it.
Yeah, but bro, I'm bad, dude. So I'm a lot better, man. Levance the one got me to go to Tenley and stuff the first time, and he's
That's
just like,
awesome.
bro, you gotta come out, man, and show more people than just the 3 or 4 people you talk to, man.
So listen, I'm gonna need you to apply a little pressure and be like, "Yo, Levance, really cool show that you should do. My favorite reptile podcast."
Yeah.
So all right, still let's get into it, man. Let's talk about how you first got into the ball pythons and how long ago was that?
Man,
Or how let's start with this. Your name, where you're from, and what you're doing currently as far as business.
okay. Matt Shiflett, American Made Exotics, and mainly right now we're doing ball pythons. We've worked with tons of different species, man, but we scaled back on a lot of stuff. And then when COVID started, we got out of everything else and just balls. And just this past year, man, we started getting back into some other stuff again. But right now, as far as the business goes, ball pythons, we picked up carpets and Amazon tree boas and rainbow boas, but I'm keeping those collections like on a hobbyist scale for right
Yeah,
now, man.
yeah, it's a lot to work with, man. So when you first came across the ball python, what was that? What was that scenario looking like? Like you came across the ball
Dude,
python and you fell in love, or how'd that look?
man, I was breeding leopard geckos, man. That was my thing when I first did it as a hobby. I was vending shows and stuff, and um, my mentality with it back then was I was doing it for fun. I'd go split, you know, a little group of tables with some friends, man. I might have me a third of a table or a half a table or, you know, maybe a whole table. And I sold what I could sell at the show. And
Yeah.
then everything else, I'd go walk around to the people that were reselling and be like, man, I got these left. Like work out a trade, man, or trade for supplies. So then I'd end up trading everything that was left at the end of the show for like, you know, stack of calcium powder and mealworms, like all the stuff I needed for the geckos, man. And like I was happy with that. But to get it to point with the ball pythons was, man, eventually I was at these shows and I had a little money in my pocket from selling geckos. I started looking at, man, I want to get a pet snake. And I got some of the ball pythons, man. And it just kind of went from there. I never intended on it like being a business, dude. I had chameleons, leopard geckos, crested geckos, gargoyle geckos. I got a couple ball pythons, Kenyan sand boas, hognose, rainbow boas, boa constrictors. Like, dude, definition of jack of all trades, master of none. But it is just a hobby, bro. I liked all these different animals, so I had small little breeding groups of a lot of different things, and I kind of, man, I fell in love with the genetics on the ball pythons. It was just so next level, not necessarily just line breeding, but stacking the genetics and crossing, you know, all these morphs and stuff. And like,
So
man, once you get stuck into it,
what was the first gene that you saw and you just fell in love with it?
a bumblebee, man, that was it,
Yeah.
dude. I was like, damn, you could take this pastel and you could take this spider and you could put the pastel color on the spider pattern. And like, that was the big thing, man. Like, a bumblebee, and like, man, if you did something else and made like a spinner blast or a queen bee, or like, man, it was just next level, dude. There was not a ton of those out there, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So
So then, so you fall in love with the bumblebee. That was the first one that you purchased or that you traded for?
nah, I got a pastel female, man, and a spider male, and I was gonna do like that entry level breeder type thing, man, for a hobby. Like, I didn't want to spend the money on the bumblebee for a pet, so I bought the pastel and I bought the spider, and I was gonna make my own. Like I said, I was already breeding reptiles for a hobby anyway, so that's kind of like that's like the fun part too, you know, is if you can take these animals and you can care for them like perfectly to the point that you can breed them and make something else that's cool, like, man, that's a whole hobby in its own, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's an amazing feeling of accomplishment when you do that. You know, like
Right.
it's not just about, oh, I made this cool thing. It's like, yo, I made it through the whole process, right? Because
Yeah,
there is
bro.
a process.
Yeah, bro.
So like
Raise animals up and all that stuff from babies, man, and you know, then you make something else that was the vision you had and what you wanted, you know, years prior. So
yeah, and that's another great feeling, man. Having babies, raising them up, and then breeding them for them to have babies,
for
and then you
sure,
raise those up, like generational
bro.
breeding. You know what I mean?
Man, I have I always keep good records and I do public clutch records on the website and stuff, man. So
Hmm.
I get a kick out of it when I can see a pair that I got babies from, and it's like, all right, I hatched the male and I hatched the female. I can start looking back through my records, man, and trace it, you know, the grandparents and then, you know,
Yeah,
the great grandparents before that, man. So I've had
yeah,
stuff out, man, because I'm not the best at ID and stuff. So a lot of times I'll think this is what it is and I'll keep it because I'm pretty sure, but I wouldn't want to sell it anyway. I'm not 100% sure what it is. And so then I get the babies from that and I'm just like, what? It's something, it ended up being something totally different, man. And I'll go looking back at my records, being like, oh shit, man. Like, for example, I had a clutch last year. I thought it was a blackhead Mojave pewter. And then when I got the babies out, I'm like, dude, nothing looks like the mom. You know what I mean? I'm like, but
yeah,
I think this is a blackhead Mojave pewter. I'm like, why is it so different from the mom? So I start looking back at a couple generations, and I had super blackhead in it, man, and I didn't realize that. So I'm
okay.
like, that's why none of the babies look the same because the mom's a super blackhead Mojave pewter. So like, man, it's cool. I always get a kick out of it when you hatch something and you've hatched a couple generations before that, man.
Yeah, yo, that's a pleasant surprise, man.
Yeah,
The mom's super blackhead. Fuck yeah.
for sure, man. But
So yo, you started out just as a hobbyist, wanting to make some cool shit for yourself.
I did,
Uh,
man.
did you start ramping up like purchasing animals, or was there not enough genetics at that time for you to really go crazy, kind of how people do now?
Oh man, both, dude. But I've been my best customer every year since I've started this, man. Like, it
Right.
just is how it is. I've always keep my best animals. I'm probably um, a little generous with what I keep, dude. But that's how you get ahead, man. If I think this is worth keeping and breeding, I'll keep it and breed it, man. And I know
Yeah,
it's a healthy animal. I know it's clean. I don't have to worry about viruses or mites or quarantine or, you know what I mean? Like, it's in my collection. I hatched it, dude. And
yeah,
I just put more value on that, man. I've
yeah.
been
You got to
big
be your own best customer. They're giving someone else the opportunity to pass your project before you is
yeah,
counterproductive from a business perspective. If you're
yeah,
just a hobbyist and you're playing around, like, okay, if you want to make a couple bucks, you sell the best shit. That's fine. If it's not really something you want to take serious, but as a business owner, the goal is to continuously grow. And if you're selling off your best shit just to get a dollar, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot long term.
for sure, dude.
Yeah. So
For
when did
sure.
you decide? So you had all these different species. You were sharing tables with your friends, vending already.
Uh,
You came across ball pythons. You started picking some up to produce your own. When did you decide, yo, I want to take this serious as a business? Can you tell us how this became a business for you and what year that was?
well, man, I guess that's like what we were talking about, you know, a few minutes ago, man, before we got on was, man, I was doing construction work, bro. I've grown up around that, dude. I was around the brick pile when I was a teenager, man, and working with my uncle and my dad and stuff, man. And I've done roofing and stuff, done framing. So man, I was doing a little side job gig, man, and that's what I was on. You know, I did the reptiles for a hobby, man. That's what I did when I got off work. Um, so man, what had happened was I went to the little sports bar, man. I'd get a couple beers and I'd order food to go. And when I was leaving that to go leave, man, my dad had passed away probably like a month or two before that, man. And so when he had died, at the hospital, they gave me like some of his personal belongings, was like his ID, little stuff that was like worthless,
It's
financially, but like
sentimental, yeah.
sentimental. Yeah, bro. So when I'm leaving, I probably had $20 in my wallet, man. And I got robbed in the parking lot, man, and they wanted my whole wallet. And I was just like, man, I was 23. So I mean, I was like, bro, I'll fight these three dudes right now over that. And I ended up losing the use of both of my hands, man, from the nerve damage from fighting the dudes or whatever. And so man, there went the construction. Like I couldn't do.
That's tough, man. Did you get some good licks in at least?
Bro, it's just, man, when you fight three people, man, once
It's
you hit
fast,
the ground,
bro.
dude, it's yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I got my ass beat, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't use my hands for 8 months, man. But like I said, dude, I had that sentimental stuff in my pocket. And man, they had to kill me at that age to take it, man. And anyways, dude, long story short, there went the construction, bro. Like I was like, man, I can't do that no more. I was already doing the reptiles for a hobby. Like I said, man, I'd do the shows. I'd make a little bit of money. I start, what if I take this to be a business instead of a hobby, man? And it's something I was already passionate about, something I was already doing. And it just kind of went from there, man.
So you were like, yo, we're gonna take it more serious, because you have the opportunity to. Did you start purchasing animals right away, or did you create the LLC first, or?
I already had a lot of animals, man. At that point,
Yeah, how many ball pythons did you have?
uh, man, maybe 20 or so, dude, which
Okay,
was a lot to
nice.
somebody for a hobby, man. But ball
Oh yeah,
pythons were never, that was never like the main thing of my business, bro. I would do for years, man. I'd vend and have 8, 9 tables, and I might have like 2 tables of ball pythons. I had all kinds of other stuff, man.
yeah,
At that point, for me to make it a business, um, I couldn't really necessarily afford the position in ball pythons like that, man. I was pursuing a lot of cheaper animals, dude. So I had years where I did 3,000, 3,500 eggs, but it was a whole bunch of like pet
different
type
species.
stuff, man. Yeah, we do, 2, 3 shows a month, slinging geckos, little Kenyan sand boas, hognose, rainbow boas, boa constrictors, lots of chameleons. Like I said, leopard geckos, gargoyle geckos, crested geckos, lots of like pet stuff. And
Yeah,
$50, $200, $300, and that's what kept the bills paid and the lights on, man. And
yeah,
obviously every penny that I had extra beyond bills and food, man, we spent it back on animals, man. And then you get into positions where you could do some trading with people, man. I've traded my way into a lot of stuff at the beginning, and I've always been my best customer, man. We never lived like a lavish lifestyle. It was bills are paid, food's paid, refrigerators full, and like everything else is we're all in on the business, man, and the animals.
yeah.
And
So when you started the business, did you have business experience prior to that, or was it just the
I
hobby
grew up,
experience that you had?
man, I grew up working with my uncle, man. He had the brick and the concrete, man. I've worked at other places. Like I said, I worked for a roofing company, man, and uh, worked underneath people that were very business savvy, dude. And I learned a
Yeah.
lot from them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah. So you already knew, like, yo, how to make an LLC, register the business, get your licenses, do all that.
nah, dude, I got the business license, man. I did that on my own, just sole proprietor. And I did that for a couple years, man. And then I ran into an issue where I got a subpoena from the city and they made me come downtown to ask some questions about the business, man. And basically, man, they made me sign a waiver saying that I didn't own reptiles at that address. And I'm just like, yo, it's a business where I'm breeding reptiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
What
the
kind of
lady
shit is
was
that?
like, she went and man, she talked to some people and come back and was like, dude, it's not a big deal. She was like, man, just sign this paper and they're never gonna look into it and bother you. She was like, man, they just got to make you sign this paper saying you don't own the reptiles. And I was just like, well, bro, it's a reptile breeding business out the house,
Yeah, you're
So
literally telling me not to do exactly what I'm doing.
So man, she was just like, just sign it. It's not a big deal. So I signed it, man, because I didn't really have a choice. But I got out of the city, dude. I'm in the country now, and it's a totally different experience out here, man. I didn't the LLC thing. My lawyer actually did it for me when I was going through custody stuff, man. To get full custody of my daughter, he did the LLC for me. So the
Nice.
LLC and the Articles Organization. That's really the only reason he did it was he just said it makes you look more professional, man. Obviously, there's a lot of perks to it that
Yeah.
I learned afterwards, man. I definitely
Yep.
recommend anybody that's doing it past that point of paying taxes to get the LLC for sure.
100%. Real quick, little pause. That's Phil right there. He said, Matt sold me an Enchi Leo Het Grail Pos Het Pie. Now I have an Enchi Grail Starburst and big things coming. Thanks, Matt.
That's what's up, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Yo,
I
Phil's
always
cool,
like
man.
seeing people do good things with animals, man.
100%. Yo, Phil, man, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you very much, bro. Um, all right. So you had a little bit of help setting everything up for you, which is awesome. How did you come up with American Made Exotics? What made you choose that name?
Like I said, man, for years, dude, I did the reptile shows. I didn't have a business name for years, bro. I was on King Snake for years as Matt Shiflett. I always vended shows at Matt Shiflett. I didn't come up with a business name until it got to the point where I was like, man, I'm gonna have to explain how I'm paying these bills, and do
Hmm.
taxes and stuff. So I came up with that, man, because that was like a big thing at the shows. A lot of people have all this import wild caught stuff, and I always tried to buy from people that didn't deal with the imports, man, and just had captive bred animals. So I was like, man, I went with that name because I got all these exotic animals, but I made them right here in the States, man. No, the
Yeah.
parasites and the risks of imports and all that. So that's just what we went with, man.
Yeah, that's something you guys used to have to deal with a lot back in the day, right? Not so much anymore. Is
There's still a
imports
lot of
and
people with imports, man, but that's a whole different market, man,
yeah, it's a different ball game, right? I don't know anything about that.
for sure. So that's just what I went with, man, because everything I had, we hatched ourselves, man.
Nice. So what were some of your bigger purchases when it came to ball pythons? Like how did you transition? Because you got a big collection, man. Like how many ball pythons do you have? Let's start with that.
Man, somewhere between 800 and 900 personally.
Yo, that's huge. Matt, you're a big dog. I don't know if you know that, but you're a big dog.
Man, I'm so far from where I'm trying to be, man. I don't really feel that way, dude. I'm not doing nothing different than anybody else, man.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of it, is like you're a big dog, but you're humble and you're like, yo, I'm just like everybody else. Like you shouldn't have to feel any kind of way about reaching out to talk to me or ask me questions or anything like that, man. And I admire that because, there are some inflated egos out there. But
Yeah,
that's not everybody.
like I told you, man, that was one of the big things with us making the YouTube page, man, is we got out of doing shows for a few years, man. Once my daughter hit kindergarten,
Yeah.
it's just, dude, it was too much on us, man. Because before she was in grade school, I could take her to my mom on Thursday night, Friday morning, man, we could pack and leave. I pick her up Monday night after we unpack. But once she was in school, man, I was like, the logistics of this don't work, dude. So we didn't do shows for years. It was all online.
Right.
So just this past year, man, obviously my daughter's 10. She's a lot more independent than she was as an infant, man. And I got a good team around me now. So, me and Ed that works for me, man, he runs the rodent building completely, dude. Solid guy.
Nice.
Um,
Shout out to Ed.
well, he'll go to the shows with me, and my wife can fall back and she can run the shop, man. She can make sure the rodent buildings, everything's good, man. She take my daughter to school on Friday and, get her home and all that, man, and watch her for the weekend. So it just logistically worked out better. But anyways, now that I'm going to the shows and I've been out of that for so many years, I was surprised how many people come up to me at the shows and say like, "Oh man, like they follow me on Morph Market, like they got 14 tabs open at the house right now on the computer, animals like they wanted, but they just were too intimidated to talk to me about it." And then they start talking to me at the show and start asking me about like their collection and what I think about how would this animal they're looking at of mine fit into their project and what's my idea. And it's like, dude, I don't see why somebody would be too intimidated to reach out on Morph Market and just have that conversation, man.
Yeah, I
So
think people forget that we're doing what we love and we enjoy talking about it.
Yeah, man. No matter
So
how big you get, it's still supposed to be a hobby, bro. So from the littlest small guy with one or two snakes to the guy with thousands of animals, we're all still sharing the same hobby, bro. At the end of the day,
yeah,
it's
the
just,
same passion and love for the animals.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's just snakes. At the end of the day, man, I'm a
Yes.
glorified janitor, dude. I clean snake tubs and I pair the snakes at the right time, man. But I'm not doing anything that nobody else can't do. You know, and I
Yeah,
think a lot of
100%.
people lose touch of that, man. It's like you got a question, man. I'll talk snakes all day. I probably have a very unhealthy relationship with how much I talk snakes on the phone and stuff, man. So I
So
figured with
when
the YouTube thing, man, people could see like, it's a real person, man. Like I'm a little more comfortable reaching out and instigating that conversation to begin with.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for telling people to put themselves out there and to not be so judgmental about yourself. You got to remember, like, people are scrolling, dude. They're watching one video, two videos, three videos. No one's analyzing your video to a T and judging you on every little thing that you do.
Right,
Just have a little bit of confidence in yourself. Be knowledgeable about the things that you choose to speak about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, ask questions to the right people.
right, for sure,
Uh,
bro.
that's how we learn together, grow together, succeed together, right?
Yeah, it's just, man, it was kind of shock to me, man, to get out in the shows and meet people face to face, and how many people told me that they were flat out intimidated to message me, and so that made me start thinking like, how many people have seen the ads and wanted to ask me a question and then just didn't, you know? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
something
but
I'd like
that's
to avoid, man.
like celebritizing people, right? So you see that a lot with like Justin, right? You see that a lot with like Ozzy or
Yeah,
Billy, and you know, um, people forget that we're just people like everybody else.
bro, everybody's just breeding snakes, man. I mean,
That's it.
yeah, man, that's all we're doing.
Yeah,
It,
exactly. So
it's like,
what were some of the bigger, or like what was the first like big ball python project that you got into? That you said,
like,
okay, I'm gonna start taking this like real serious with the ball pythons. What kind
uh,
of what combo or
big
what?
money wise, man.
Uh,
Um,
yeah,
Probably be, I guess, Leopard, man. That was the biggest purchase that I made. They were like, man, like $4,000 or $5,000 at the time, and I really liked it, dude. I genuinely thought that the pattern was so visually extreme that like it would have a market all the way down to the pet level, man. And that was probably the biggest one I did, dude. I got a Leopard Pastel, and it ended up proving out to be het pied. And
yep. I was
back
gonna
then,
ask that.
dude, it was like that was all right. First off, I'll say I've never made a big ticket purchase that there wasn't just a million things of hate and negativity that went along with it. So leopards was, oh man, that's so dumb that they're $5,000 now. People have been giving away leopards for years because they thought they were het pieds. There's like leopards in so many collections and they didn't even pay for it, and it's just a het pied. So when I first got into it, man, they were saying like the super leopard was a pied, and then they were saying that like that's not true, but all leopards are het pied. And there's just a
Mhm.
lot of unknowns about it, man. But I did it because I liked it, and it worked out for me, man. I
That's one of
think
my favorite greens. Is leopard.
after that was bamboo, bro. Everybody was like, "Oh man, you're so dumb, dude. I can't believe you got a $5,000 lesser." And it's like, dude, I base a lot of it on I have a hard time seeing subtle genes. So if I can see it, man, it ain't the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I
I
can see that a
definitely.
lesser and a bamboo are totally different, man. So it's on everything, dude. Stranger was you bought an overpriced mahogany. Banana was why would you buy into that when the sex link thing? And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've learned, man, is if you like it and you believe in it and you think it has value, you got to turn the noise down and just not even listen to everybody, man. Because a
Yeah,
lot of those same people that'll say that negative stuff, once it hits that price point that they're comfortable buying it, man,
oh yeah, they'll be quick.
they'll have it, dude, and they'll act like they never said any of that stuff, man. But
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta believe in your own vision and just do what you like, you know?
yeah, 100%. There's a saying that I like, and it's ask every broke person you know how to make money, and
Uh,
guaranteed they'll tell you how to do it.
yeah,
Right? So it's like you can't just go by what everybody says. Like you got to have a little bit of grit, right? Like an iron fist as far as like, hey, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to move forward, and no one's going to sway me off of that.
I see one right here, bro. That touched right on it. How did I get started? Did I have to take a loan out? Man, my business was built on the back of 0% interest credit cards I ain't advising anybody to do that because it's a high pressure way to live. But I didn't have nobody to give me anything, man. But Bank of America believed in me enough that if I fumbled, they'd get, 26% interest. Like, bro, I'll run up $20,000 on a credit card, no interest. I'd buy a couple males. I said, I got 18 months to breed these males and sell the stuff and pay the credit card off before the interest kicks in. And man, that's how I built my business. It went from 18,000 to 100,000 or 150,000, and just always, being able to pay it back, man, before the interest kicked in. So,
so it's like it's
I'm not advising, man. That's do that at your own risk, then, man. But really think about it. That's how I built my business, then, man. Is I believed in myself enough that we took those risks, man.
Yeah, I was just about to say that you got to be able to take risk and be confident in yourself that you're going to succeed at what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Damn, man. So yeah, that's awesome, bro. I've done the slower approach. I just collected animals here and there, and now I got a decent little base, and now I'm just gonna mash everything together and hold back all the hets and build my army like that,
Yeah. And I'll say on this too, a key part of that was, man, I still had such a big collection of the pet quality like markets. You know what I mean? I didn't just jump into like charging thousands of dollars in ball pythons and being like, man, I'm gonna start this business. I was doing 2 or 3 shows a week or 2 or 3 shows a month. Like every week we were going to a show, man, and we were selling pets, 9 tables of pets, man. So I always had money coming in like that. So I started at the bottom and built the business up more and more and more expensive as I went. But I kept that base, man. I still always had those $50 to $200 animals that I knew I was going to go to a Repticon and I was going to make a couple $1,000s in just pets,
Yep.
So,
and that's good. I'm glad you said that because people don't hear all the details. Usually they'll hear, oh yeah, I spent a bunch of money on credit cards, but they don't know that you actually had a lot of pet valued animals that you were selling and generating income from.
Right. So we already had a business before we started trying to take it to the next level, man. And I think a lot of people get hung up on that, and it's probably easy to do these days as you see like the Justins and the Aussies, and they're making these like crazy high ticket dollar animals, man. But like, people want to see where you're at now, man, but they don't see the journey it took to get there. And they didn't just jump into making those high-end animals, man. You build other things first, dude, and you build the business and grow the business. And I see that a lot of times people will try to buy their way to the top, and then they make these cool animals, and they're like, well, cool, how do you sell them now? You know what I mean? Because like they don't have that business already built up. There's nothing wrong with starting with where you can afford, man. And I made a lot of money selling $200 and under animals.
Yep. So now here's something that we talked about, right? Because I haven't vended shows yet. I haven't produced enough to even consider vending shows. So my market analyzation comes from Morph Market, right? So I saw a bunch of animals on Morph Market that are under $1,000, and I was like, "There's 27,000. Like that's something you don't want to compete with. Maybe focus on higher end animals." And you said to me, "I agreed to disagree, and let me tell you why." And if you could talk a little bit about that, like it's not just about what's on Morph Market. You got to be able to hit shows, right?
Yeah, well, man, even that though, dude, there might be, would you say 27,000?
27,000 under $1,000.
27,000 under $1,000, and it was how many above it was?
So there was 27,000 under 1,000. From 1,000 to 5,000, I think there was 7,000 animals available. From 5,000 to like 10 or 15, I think it was like 400 or 500 and something. So the numbers obviously get smaller. It's kind of like it's like a pyramid.
But it should though, because that's exactly right, man. The whole market is a pyramid. There's only a small amount of people at the top buying those $15,000 animals. So then you go down to the tier below it, just like a pyramid, it gets a little bigger. There's a lot more animals at that price point, but there's a lot more people at that price point. Then it goes down even more down here. Those $1,000 animals, you're talking about there's 27,000 of them, but man, there's so many more people that are willing to buy a $1,000 animal than are willing to buy a $15,000 animal. So the market should be like that, man. There should be animals at the bottom because the market is way bigger at the bottom. So
Right,
it's not
100%.
necessarily a bad thing. There's 27,000 of them because there's an infinite amount of people that are buying $1,000 and under animals, man. It gets even bigger once you get under $500. The amount of people that walk into a reptile show or a pet store, and I'm sure still online and stuff like that too. The amount of people that'll buy a $500 animal just because it looks cool and they get enjoyment out of having that animal as a pet is just massively, massively huge compared to the amount of people at the top that'll buy a $20,000 snake. Anybody that's at this giant area at the bottom buying a $300 one, man, tell them you spent $20,000 on one, and they're gonna be like, "That's crazy! I can't even believe you would do that." You know, that's just how big that market is, though. So, a lot of people are harping on all of the market's so bad and this and that. A lot of those people are people that are fixated on this top little area, man. And man, I know the market at the bottom is so big, dude, that I can, if I hatch 1,000 animals, if I sold them all for $300 at the pet show because there was no market up here anymore, like, is that even bad, dude? I made $300,000 selling pets to people that genuinely have no idea about the politics in the market or any of that stuff. They're just like, man, I really like the way that looks, man. And you can hold it. It's not aggressive, and it's just a cool animal. The market is so big. Yeah, it's so big, dude, that I don't know why people are so scared about that, man. Because
So let me ask you this. So do you think it's better to vend shows to reach the pet market instead of putting those types of animals on, let's say, Morph Market? Because a lot of pet people, they don't even know Morph Market exists, to be honest with you.
right.
So
Well,
do you think it's more important to, it's okay to put them up there, obviously, but it's better to have face-to-face interactions with people for snakes at that price point?
at that price point, man, you could go a couple different directions, dude.
Yeah, let's hear
I
it.
treat it like having multiple different businesses, man. I treat that high end online as a business. I treat that middle range, like entry level breeder, like you're trying to make a cool animal, maybe trying to, make the foundation of a business. That's a separate business. The pet stuff at the bottom, you split that up in a couple different businesses, man. Because I do online sales with some of that. You could go to the reptile show. That's a totally different crowd of people that are buying. You treat that as a business, and then you form that wholesale relationship with some of your local pet stores, maybe some people that have a bigger following that do a reptile show every single weekend and travel up and down the coast. Maybe you do some wholesale with them. I always try to have multiple different avenues like that, man.
Yeah, super smart, bro. So it's like having an umbrella, right? And then it trickles down, and you have the main business here, American Made Exotics, and then you have the higher end stuff here. You got the mid level stuff here. You got the entry level breeder stuff here. Then you have the pet population, where
Right.
you have wholesalers and shows and talking to bigger breeders, maybe that could take some of it off your
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just one focus; it's multiple focuses.
A lot of it, man, is, you can't always squeeze every penny out of every animal, man. And the way our market has evolved a lot, back in the day, man, you get a het male and you could breed it to a normal, and you'd make a bunch of possible hets, and you would keep those and raise them for 3 years, and then you'd breed it back to your het. But the market is so exponentially bigger now that, like, a lot of new people have a hard time doing that, man. And I think that's kind of justified at this point, dude, because there's so many animals. If you're trying to take it serious as a business, a lot of times it doesn't make sense to start as a het when there's 100 visuals that you could buy. So instead of trying
and
to
not that much more money,
like, somebody's going to buy this pastel het clown because you can make a clown with it. Like, man, I just take it to the show and sell it as a pastel to somebody that just wants a pet. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you a question. Do you let them know that, hey, it's het clown and it's just not affecting the price? Or are you just like, hey, it's a pastel?
I do, bro, but that's just me, man. I'm just so OCD about my records. Like, if it's a pastel het clown, like, it's a pastel het clown.
Right.
I have it on my website on the clutch records. You can look it up and see the baby and know what it is.
But you're just selling it as a pastel.
Yeah, but at that market, at that venue, whatever, man, it's going to a pet home, bro. Like, it'll say pastel het clown, and they'll look right at it and be like, man, I love the way that het clown influences the animal. And, like, they genuinely think that it looks cool because it's a pastel het clown, not it looks cool because it's a pastel and you can't even see the het clown part. You see what I'm saying? Like, they have no idea, bro. They're just looking at the animal and genuinely like that animal. And
Hmm.
I sell a lot of my stuff like that, man, because at the end of the day, I feel like it's easier to find a pet home for that because that market is massive versus be
Right.
like, I'm going to squeeze this extra $100 out this animal because eventually somebody is going to want to make a clown with it, you know? And it's like, man, you got to find a balance in that because my rodents and my time are better invested into going to, you say, the visual clown het pie that I made in that clutch or something, you know, and
Yeah.
I'll raise that up and sell that to a breeder or something, or that's worth my time. But I just get the other stuff to somebody else, man, and they can enjoy it as a pet, or it can be in a
Right.
pet store or somebody
So
else that wants to sell.
saying basically like there's no need to try to pinch every penny out of an animal. It's okay to let things go and be content with what you get for it. Because time is money and space is money, and like you
Yeah.
said, you rodents and your time and you're cleaning tubs and all that stuff matters.
I think a lot of
So
that is just the way the market has evolved there, man. There's so many different people breeding now. Um, people have options, man. Just because you missed what you were trying to make and you made this codom that's just a het and not necessarily a newer gene.
mhm,
If you made the het monsoon, for example, like obviously that still has value to a breeder. There's not a whole bunch of them, but a single gene codom that's a het clown, like bro, there's probably thousands of clowns on Morph Market right now. Anybody
yeah,
that's taking it serious as a business and breeding, like they're buying one of the visual clowns, not your head. Now
right. So
females
so
different. People
animals
can.
like sorry, go ahead.
I said females different. Obviously, man, people can still use the codom het clown female, but they're gonna buy the visual male, man. So I'll give it to a pet store, a reseller.
Right.
I'll sell it for a pet home myself at the expos, and I'll go ahead and tell you, dude, I've let a couple of animals where the person was like, I'm going to breed that. Like that's done slid by. But 9 times out of 10, man, the person that gets that animal that I'm trying to go to a pet home, it's going to a pet home. And
Yeah.
like they're thrilled with it. Love the animal to death, dude. And they're going to enjoy the animal. And maybe that'll get them into the hobby and they'll come back and, want to get into breeding and stuff later.
Yeah, and that's also good for I like how you worded it, entry level breeders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they want to make something cool, but let's say they can't afford that specific animal, so they have to create it on their own, and they might get, this whatever het clown, and then they'll pick up a female of this whatever het clown, make that clown with
It's
two
a
or three codoms in it.
it's a massive market, man. And I think a lot of people get fixated on like, I like clown pies. The money is making a bunch of clown pies and selling them. But it goes to the pyramid thing, like I just said, man. Yeah, they'll sell and they'll sell for good money, but you could have exponentially sold way more clown het pies and pied het clowns because a lot more people are going to buy a clown het pie and a pied het clown, maybe with some codoms in the mix so they can take it to the next level, but they're going to
Yep,
make their clown pie. And that
yep.
is the bigger market. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Actually, that's my mentality. Where anything I purchase moving forward is going to be some kind of visual het something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not rich. I can't just dump a bunch of money on doubles and triples and all this other stuff that are visuals. I have to grow my stuff slow, right? I'm a slow grower, so I got to get that clown head pied and that
Right.
pied head clown, and hopefully it has some other codoms in there, and then mash that together to make what I want to make. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I'm right there, man. I love that.
it's a big market, and a lot of people have that mentality, man. So, and just for prime example, dude, like people saying that the market's, bad and this and that, and it's horrible. Like last year, I hatched about 1,000 snakes. Now I kept probably 200 of them, man, but that still left 800. And like, man, I've been sold out for months, dude. I probably got 30 snakes. That's like kind of some high end stuff. That's like, you don't expect that stuff to fly off the shelf, anyways. But that's been since maybe February, man. That's
Yeah,
800 snakes and I hatched almost everything in July and on last year. So you talking July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 8 months. I've sold 800 some snakes.
yeah,
So like
yeah.
you can't say
And
it's bad, man. I try to do stuff in a realistic expectation.
sorry, man, this guy's talking shit. Appreciate you, love you for being here.
Yeah.
Um, so 800 snakes in 8 months. What do you think the difference is between what you're doing and what people that are complaining that the market sucks right now? What do you think is the key factor to you being able to push that many snakes? And you've been out of snakes for like what, 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah, man.
Um,
I mean, we
so what
got
are the
like
contributing things that helped you move those amount of snakes when you got people that are producing only 200 and they're bitching and complaining that they can't move anything? What do you think the difference is between you two?
I think a lot of people got spoiled with COVID, man. The market was very good, dude. And I feel like things went back to normal. And then, the economy is a little rough right now, anyways. So you got to hustle, man. I think the people that are hustling are still making money, dude. You just got to be, like I said, we started going to the shows and stuff, man. I'm not afraid to go put in the work if we got to put in the work, man, and
Yeah,
just
100%.
go out there. Now during COVID, like, man, you post a clutch picture, and you got people in the inbox, man. The whole thing would be gone just off sharing a picture. And it's not even just COVID, dude. I've done this for years, bro. I've seen the market go this way multiple times. There's been
Yeah,
a few times where, like, man, you sell whole clutches just by sharing a picture, and then when it's good, it's really good. But a lot of people see it like, oh, there's a lot of money to be made. A lot of people will get into it when it's good. Then you got
yeah.
all these breeders, man, and it's saturated. Things get a little bit slow, you know. You just
And
got
then
to keep.
that's what separates the weak from the strong, right?
And like, dude, just like I told you, we didn't do shows for a few years, man. So when we went to go do the shows again, I'm like, cool, man. I'm about to get to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, you know. I
Mhm.
start looking at the vendor list, man, and I'm like, I don't even really know any of these people, man. I seen a couple, so I start asking, a couple of my buddies and stuff that were still on it. I'm like, man, what happened to so and so, and what happened to so and so? And they got out of it, man. Sold everything, you know. And
Yeah.
I've seen so many people do that, man. When it's tough, it gets slow, dude. You just got to keep pushing and doing what you want to do. You got
So
to focus
show
on
me,
projects
talk
you
to me
like.
about what it looks like when you're at a show. What are your habits at a show? Are you standing up? Are you in front of the table? Are you calling people over? Like, what does that
Bro,
look like when you're doing it?
we are on our feet the whole time. I talk to everybody, man. And I got my buddy Ed Majors. I'm sure anybody that's seen us at the shows, man, they know Ed just as good as they know me. Both of us, man, I engage with everybody, bro. And it's funny because I'll see people talk about how bad the show was and this and that. And if you walk by, like go to the bathroom or something, man, guarantee they're sitting there on their phone, flicking their phone on Facebook and stuff or TikTok. And
Yeah,
like, man, they're not like, I'm there to talk snakes, bro. I'm not there to sell snakes. I'm there to talk snakes with everybody, man. So
yeah,
when I do a show, I look at it like it's always good advertising. You're letting people meet you face to face, man. They get to see your animals, they get to shake your hand, they get to talk to you, meet you. You form that relationship, and you
yep,
might get to sail down the road. But I think a lot of people, they have the mentality where they're just like, cool, he's not buying anything, man. Back to TikTok and keep flicking it, you know. And
yeah, yeah.
I
So,
never mentality, bro. I'm there. I'm there to talk snakes, man, and I'm passionate about it. And like, bro, I'm gonna talk snakes with every single person, man. And
I like that you just said that because D from Bomb Projects on the first episode, she said the same thing. She said, "Listen, we're over there and we're talking to people and we're engaging them, and even if they're not buying anything, it doesn't matter because you're building that relationship and they'll remember you, right?"
yeah,
So she was like, "Yo, people have seen us a year later at a different show and been like, oh, hey, it's you guys, blah 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 blah
yeah,
blah," right? So energy attracts energy. If
yeah.
you're sitting on your ass not doing anything and your energy is low, that's what you're going to receive in return. You're going to receive nothing, basically.
Well, bro,
If you're
I have a lot of customers on that same note, bro. That like they'll spend a little bit of money with me, dude, and then we'll start talking real casual, man. Because like I said, it's snakes, bro. I talk snakes with anybody, and we'll
Yeah,
get talking on a casual level, and they'll be like, "Yeah, man, you probably don't even remember me, man. Like 7 years ago, like I had this pet ball python, and like I had all these questions, and like just wanted to make sure I did everything right." And they were like, "Man, you were the only person that didn't make me feel like I was bothering you to ask them questions." And so then they get into it on the breeding part and like really get sucked into the hobby. So like they're
mhm,
like, man, I came back and I shopped with you. You know, you're the one that helped me when I first got started. I hear it a lot, man. And I'm definitely not going to say any names, dude, but you'll get talking casual with somebody and you'll start hearing like how this big name person treated them or talked to them. And like, I'll be taken back, man. It's like, I
yeah.
can't believe somebody would even say that to you, you know?
That's the
But
inflated ego, right?
it happens a lot, dude, that a lot of people, yeah, man, ego, bro. At the end of the day, dude, you're a janitor. Anybody could breed snakes, dude. Anybody can do it. It's not rocket science, man. So I really struggle with how some of these people get these giant inflated egos off of it, man. Because, end of the day, dude, the reality is what we're doing. Like anybody can do it. So a lot of the people that got the big egos, man, like, cool, dude. Like whatever your revenue was that you had money, you were able to buy your way into a position that's way higher than everybody else. But
Right.
like at the end of the day, you're still just cleaning snake shit and putting the male in with the female. That's it. You just got a way nicer animal than what somebody else has,
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people lose touch with that, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? The way you treat people matters. I say it all the time, man. Like, it's not just about the animals, it's about the people behind the animals. And
Yeah,
when you got people like Matt who is willing to just shoot the shit with you, man, talk snakes, talk projects, talk ideas, listen to your ideas, give you advice on what he thinks so that maybe you can implement some of that into your program. Like,
yeah,
that's a blessing, man. People will remember that shit.
yeah, bro. I still ask questions, man. I always want to hear how somebody else does it, man, and if they're successful. And like, man, as long as I've done it, I don't think I've ever done everything the exact same every single year, man. You can always learn how to do something better. You might get a outside perspective on something that you're just like, damn, I'd never looked at it like that, and it makes more sense to you. We'll
Yeah,
get
I
some.
love the saying, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's easy to get locked in on your routine, man. And just because it's your routine, don't necessarily mean it's the best way to do it. Like you can always learn from somebody else, man.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of ask questions as many as you can, and if you have somebody willing to answer them, pay the fuck attention, because they're
Yeah,
just giving you gold, and it's up to
right,
you whether you what you do with it.
right.
Yeah. So let's move forward a little bit. So how many clutches are you? Well, actually, you know what? Let's go into it like this. How many recessive projects are you currently working?
Uh, man, a lot. Man, I don't know. I've got clown, pied, hypo, desert ghost, um, exanthic, ultramels, zebras, monsoons, tri-stripes, puzzles. Um, man, probably forgetting a lot of them, man.
Yeah, listen, that was 10.
Yeah, man. I probably all the basics, man.
That's amazing, bro. So, when you're dealing with so many recessives, what's a comfortable number of how many animals, per recessive would you like to have to work with, in your program?
Oh man, I don't. Yeah, I don't really have a set number on that, man. I know, like we talked about this when we were talking the other day. Especially with recessives, I like to have at least two males, because you can't just go swapping males with recessives. Like back in the day when we were just stacking codoms, like I start with this male and then I'm going to swap for this male later, and it's just codominant genes. Like visually, I know who sired the clutch,
Right.
but doing recessives, like you can't do that. And so, say you start out with this male and it's breeding these girls great, and then you get her to 20 millimeters or so, and then they just will not breed ever again, man. It's really saved me many times having a second male that's even identical genetics that I could flip flop the pairs. And then, like tri stripe, for example, my first tri stripe, he bred her all season, but now he won't finish the job. So I can put the other tri stripe in and he'll get that last lock for me, man. And I see
Right.
that happen a lot, dude, where like maybe I really want this pairing, but that male will never breed that female. He'll breed any other girl I pair him with, and the same with the girl. So it helps if you have multiple males that are visuals for that recessive, where I can flip flop the males and I know everything's at least going to be het tri stripe
Right.
every
Yeah.
time.
It's a little naive to think that every snake is compatible with every other snake.
Yeah,
You know.
it just don't work, man. They don't all read the game plan, dude. You can form it out on paper. I do every year, man. And then every year it's just like, all right, dude, just toss that because they're not going to cooperate, man. So it's good
Right.
to formulate a plan, but you got to be open minded to changing the plan if they don't agree with it. And I've learned that the hard way, dude. I've had stuff that like I really want this pair, man, and like the male's breeding everything else, dude. So I keep trying everything I can to get that lock with that girl. And man, I've got slug clutches, dude, where I didn't give up and I held on to a mistake to where I kept trying and kept trying. and it's like you should have just switched the plan and used a different male,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean.
But that's the important part is that you got to make sure you have that other male. If you're out there
Well,
listening, make sure you
if
have
they
that.
lock you off, man, you might have to just give up and change, dude. Like I was telling you, for example, like that zebra, man, dude, I couldn't get that zebra pastel het hypo to breed, nothing. And then I had a female that was a butter, super pastel, double het genetic stripe clown. That, man, I tried 3 different males for the G stripe clown, could not get it to breed any one of them, man. She got up to 30 millimeters, and it's like, well, dude, I keep trying these G stripe clowns. I said, man, I'm gonna have to just give up, and maybe I'll just use her as a het clown, and I'll make something cool that's visual clown poxet G stripe. I said, well, man, I said, let me try that zebra. And since she's at 30 millimeters, maybe the girl at big follicles, it'll get him to start breeding. And like, bro, you talking about a female that I've tried for months to breed any male, and you're talking about a male that I've tried for months to breed dozens of females and nothing, no interest at all. They locked in like 5 minutes, man. And I was, it's such a weird pairing. Like I would have never been like, man, I want to do that pairing, but I'll still make some cool combos that are het zebra that I can, sit to the side. And then the thing is that, man, once he locked that one female that one time, it flipped that light switch, and I've managed to salvage the season with him and got him to breed, 4 or 5 clown combos that like I wanted him to go to. And
Nice.
Sometimes you got to be willing to improvise, man, because not only did I sacrifice doing the G stripe clown project with that female, I still got something from her, and she would have just slugged out because I couldn't get a lock. It also salvaged my year with that zebra, man, because he got that one lock on that girl that was well developed, had 30 millimeter follicles, and was well along. And then, like, man, it flipped that switch, and now he breeds whatever I want him to breed.
Yeah, so he was like, "Oh shit, man, this is what I've been missing."
Yeah, man. He just took a break, dude, I guess. But so being willing to improvise, dude.
So let me ask you about that clutch right there, right? So everything's 100% het zebra. Everything is pastel because the female is super pastel.
Right.
Pos double het G stripe clowns.
Hyper too, man. So it'd be 50% posset hyper, 50% posset G stripe, 50% posset genetic stripe.
Right.
And then the clown, I mean, so 50% posset for the triple and 100% het zebra though. So it's like,
so let me ask you this: how do you feel about the genetic testing? Are you a big fan of that? Is that something that you're going to implement into this and do like a full panel, or for those 3 genetics to see maybe if there is a one animal that does have the triple?
Sure, man, I think it's a cool tool, dude. Like I got a gang of sheds that I saved, man, and I was gonna do it, man, and I just need to do more research on it, man. I don't have enough information on it to give an opinion on it, man. It seems like it would be a viable option if it works, So
yeah, and I think scenarios like that is perfect for genetic testing, right? Because you got this opportunity to have a 100% quad het potentially,
right?
Knowing exactly what you have is going to help you maneuver strategically in a it's going to help you move ahead like strategically instead of just like in the air. Oh, like maybe this is, maybe this isn't. Yeah,
man, I'm still so old school with it, bro. That's why I said I had all them sheds set to the side, and then I'm like, man, if it comes up negative, like, am I even going to trust it and not try myself anyways? I'm like, a lot of it, like for example, was Desert Ghost Clowns, Posset Pied, and Pied's Posset Desert Ghost Clown, and I said, man, I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way, anyways. So I just didn't do it, man. Didn't pursue it. But it's definitely something I've been looking into, man, and been considering doing with babies. Space, man, real estate is such a
that's what I'm saying
out here, bro. I start thinking like maybe when I hatch these babies, just test the whole clutch, man, and I could have just kept the ones that proved out on the genetic test, and even if it was wrong, I still know these ones are going to prove. I could have just put the other ones in a pet home, man, and
exactly because it's unlikely that you would have, an animal with just 100% het zebra and no other hets in it. It's unlikely that would happen because there's so many genes in it.
Right, so many. Realistically, they're probably het for something else,
Exactly. So like, but you still got to think about the real estate. You said you're at 800-900 animals.
Right
now, you're holding back, 3, 4, 5 females that could potentially not have the best genetics that you want them to have. Right.
Right.
So it would be good to know, like you said, so that you could, separate what's not and what is, and then put them off to the pet trade,
Yeah.
and then hold back the ones that actually have that.
I think
So
the eye opener for us, bro, was the first experience that we have with that was the Desert Ghost Clown Pod. We made the triple visual, but like, man, how many swings and misses to hit that? Like, I've probably got 30 animals that are clown pos doublehead or Desert Ghost pos doublehead. Like,
mhm.
it's accumulated, man. And then I'm looking at my pairings this year, and I'm like, man, I've got shots at quadruple heads. I've got shots at these triple heads or triple visuals. And I know that the misses is going to be, I just can't accumulate 30 animals of possibles for all those projects, bro. So we were talking
Yeah.
about it the other day, man. It was like, we might have to just test all this stuff right when it comes out the egg and, keep the ones that are definite and maybe let some of the other ones go, because the logistics of it worked when I had like one project like that, man, and I'm keeping all these animals, but it's like, bro, I can't dedicate a whole rack of possibles for every single project that I'm doing like that. You
Yeah,
know?
and you got 10 plus recessives, and I know you're mingling things together, so you're working doubles, triples, and quads. That's a
Right,
lot of animals to hold back, especially if they're posses, and God forbid it doesn't prove out, and you
right.
you spend 3 years raising this thing up to
Yeah,
size, and it's a lot, man.
yeah. So at that
How many?
point, man, the animals already had so much size. I was like, bro, I'm just gonna breed them, Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, in the future, man, and you get them as a baby, it'd probably be a lot more worth it for me to do a shed test on it, man. And it progressively is growing too, where the panel is getting more and more genes. I think that was a lot of my hang up, man. Like I said, was a lot of my triples were clown, pied, and desert ghost, and they had
mhm,
the clown and the pied, but they didn't have the desert ghost. So I'm
yeah,
like, even if I test it, bro, I still don't know about the desert ghost part. So
yep.
I'm like,
And they just came out with that, but it's like 85% accurate.
yeah. So that was probably the biggest hang up I had with it, man, is I didn't send them in because I'm like, even if it proves het, clown, and pied, I still don't know about the desert ghost part, man. So like,
Yeah,
why spend $120 if I know I'm going to keep it anyway to prove the desert ghost part out? So I
yeah.
just didn't, man.
And they just came out with the G stripe test,
I
so
saw
that's
that,
good.
man. Yep. So the
Yeah,
more that comes out, the more it's fitting into with what I'm doing with my collection, man, and it's going to make a lot more sense at that point.
yeah, it's gonna help you move more strategically, bro, and that's
For
a
sure.
bonus and
And
benefit.
it's
Yeah,
like, man, the whole extra part too would be cool because I've had customers that made pies from my animals that I didn't know were het pied, hypos. I've had all kinds of stuff like that pop up, man. Just here I am working with the same animals, and I can barely make the visual when I know the animals are 100%. And then you let somebody else get something, man, and they're hitting this double visual from animals they didn't even know had the recessives. So it'd be
yeah,
cool, man. I bet you go running them panels, you'll see some stuff pop up in your collection that you had no idea was in there.
yeah. You'll have to be selective, man. You got a lot of animals. That's gonna be a hefty price tag to
Right.
get a lot of tests done like that. But I'm sure they work with you. I think they'll have a set price for one, and then as you add more genetics or whatever to it, it
Really. Yeah,
cheapens
yeah,
the
yeah.
price. Yeah, and there's a couple people that do it not on such a big like business level that you can reach out to, like Charlie. Do you know Charlie?
Nah.
Well, he does like hypo tests and pie tests and things like that. So pretty cool. You could maybe reach out to him and say, "Yo, I'll send you 500 sheds. Like what's the
Yeah.
damage?" Um, yeah, that'd be cool. So how many clutches are you expecting this season?
Man, this year's a really weird season, bro. I usually average about maybe 140 to 180 clutches a year. But usually, man, like last year, I did 100 and some. I did like 130 clutches in a 60-day span. Almost everything was all at once, man.
Holy
So
shit!
for some reason this year, I'm way later, man. Like we're still only at 60 clutches, dude. And I have a lot of girls that are just now getting to 10 millimeters. Normally, man, I'm done breeding in April. I don't even normally keep breeding anything past April. But
Oh
this year,
wow!
I don't know if it was the winter we had or that the fact that it's not got hot yet. It's still like pretty mild here, man. But a lot of my stuff and a lot of people that I've talked to around me, their stuff is going late as well.
I'm
So
hearing that a lot everywhere.
for me
Actually,
to have
people.
girls just getting to 10 millimeters, like, bro, that's crazy. I'm normally, like I said, done April. I'll have some straggler girls that I'm still breeding, and the majority of my clutches are all through the summer, man. But I
Wow.
think we're gonna have a very late, stretched out year. But man, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we at least stick with the average, man, 130 to 180 clutches.
Nice,
But
man. But when you're looking at your clutch outcomes, are you analyzing best worst case scenarios for combos and analyzing like market value and things like that?
man, mine it's got to be a balance, bro. I can't say you can never swing for the fences, but I try to look at the worst case scenario, man. Um, I try to make it to where everything lines up to be 100%. You know, like prime example, bro. I have I have a group of animals that are chocolate, 100% double het hypo puzzle. Now I kept the male. I kept the male chocolate double het too, just in case I changed my mind. But realistically, bro, I'll probably take the 5 female chocolate double hets, and the majority of them are going to go to a visual hypo puzzle because
Right.
at least I know all the babies are going to be hypo puzzle, man, or 100% head. Um,
100%, yeah.
Now I still could make a chocolate hypo puzzle, but I'll have zero chance at making a super chocolate hypo puzzle. But I'll have a chance down the road. But at least I'm looking at the outcome like that, man. Like I could do it now, and I could try to do chocolate double het to chocolate double het, and like, man, I might hit that one, but what if I don't? And then I hatched the majority of stuff that's a chocolate 66% pos double het and really
Yeah.
don't have value, bro. So I try to go for the sure thing where if I do hypo puzzle to chocolate double het hypo puzzle, worst case scenario, everything's 100% double het hypo puzzle.
Right. And that's peace
At
of
least
mind, man. That's
those,
valuable.
bro, all have value. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's gonna increase my odds at making hypo puzzles. So now, like where I would have missed, maybe I hit a chocolate hypo puzzle, and I can keep that, and then I can still do what I'm trying to do down the road and hit a super chocolate hypo puzzle. But I made it to where everything that I swing and miss still has a value.
Yes.
Bro, like Levance says it the best, man, and this really stuck with me, man, is you can't always aim for what you just want to make to sell. You know, he said, man, if you swing for the stars and you miss, you still land on the moon. But if you just
like
aim to go but this high and you fall short, like, man, you might land flat on your face. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, big
I
facts.
look at it like that, dude. You got to aim for what your failure is going to be, man. If your failure is worst case, you're going to fall flat on your face. You might not want to go that route, man.
Yeah. But if your worst case scenario is still something that's
Pretty cool, bro, then like, you know, you didn't really lose, dude. So
yeah,
I
pull the
try to,
trigger, right?
yeah. Because at the end of the day, bro, we're playing slot machines. You can do all the work, you put in years of work raising the animal and planning your pairings. But at the end of the day, dude, with a lot of this stuff, you're pulling that lever and you're just seeing where the genes land, dude. What did it line up on, man? Did I get
Yeah.
lucky or not, dude? And you don't have any control of where the genetics land. Now you can adjust your pairings to increase the odds where it's not horrible, but you know, a lot of the stuff you're trying to do, man, even double visual to double het, I'm still pulling that lever and just hoping some of them line up to make double visuals. It might not. It might
Yeah,
make
the goal is to shrink the gap between the least valuable and the highest valuable, right? So you don't want to have the potential to make a $25 animal and a $10,000 animal. That's a huge gap,
right,
right? So
right.
like moving forward when you're anticipating your clutches and what you're trying to produce, you want to have that gap fairly close to each other so that way, like you said, you're not falling on your face and you can potentially hit the stars, you know?
Yeah. So you got to balance it, man. Cause like I said, I got 5 girls, bro. Maybe I'll take one of them and I'll do that pairing, man. And I'll do the other ones a little more reserved and hesitant, man, and know that I'm going to at least be able to sell the stuff that I miss, man. I try to just avoid the pairings being like, I want to hit this one really cool animal, but everything I miss isn't worth anything. You know, I try to make it where it's like, I can still make this one really cool one, but my odds are better to at least hit stuff that I can keep or have value to sell the stuff that I don't want to, man.
So out of 100, good.
I say I could still do it. It just is going to take me an extra few years, man. Even 1 year, you know?
So out of 140, 180 clutches, what up, Paul? Give you a shout out to Matt. What up?
What's up, man?
So out of 140, 180 clutches, is every clutch, are you looking to hold something back from every clutch?
The majority of stuff that I do, man, is I'm trying to keep something out that clutch, man. And that's something else that I've learned over the years is
Go
I
ahead,
used to
continue. I'm just closing this door real quick.
I used to have a lot of pairings where you're like, oh, these are selling. I'm going to try to make these and I'll be able to sell them and the market's good on them. But then it kind of goes back to the thing like, what if you miss? If you're trying to make something that's already achievable from other people and you miss, you're way below where the market is. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
if you're trying to make stuff that like, I want to keep this, you don't realize how good the stuff is that you made on accident. You know what I mean? Like, it just ends up working out like that, man. So now my focus is on trying to better my collection, and then
Right.
stuff that falls behind and I fall short on, like, man, it's still a solid animal to help somebody else try to catch up to where I'm at in the project, man. But
Hmm.
if you're aiming for mediocrity, dude, and you're aiming to just make something that there's already a billion of, and like that's your best case scenario, it's like even if you hit it, you don't know where that other person is, man, because if they're already selling this animal, they're probably already way ahead. They've already thought, what else could I do to make it better? So you
Yeah.
can see something that somebody's making that's really cool, but you should always have the mentality of what could I do to make that better? What can I do on top of that, you know?
Yeah, that circles back to what I was saying about the Batmans. You know, the
Yeah,
Batmans are dope, but that can't be the end all, right? You got to
of
say what are you gonna do with that?
right? And put your own spin on it, dude. You got this whole box of crayons, bro, and you just want to play with the same two colors that you're watching somebody else do.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, pick another one up, man, and put your own spin on it, dude. Because
Yeah.
when you
What?
start thinking like that, man, um, it's real hard to accidentally make the same thing that everybody else is making if you're genuinely trying to work from what you like and your own vision and stuff.
I love the way you say that, man. With the box of crayons, because it's so true, man, and it's so simple to understand. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that. You know.
Yeah.
Um. Hold on one second. So you've been a serious ball python breeder business for how long now?
I've done it for a living for 14 years, man. 2009.
2009. Nice.
Yep.
So how like do you keep track of like how your business has grown over the years? So from 2009 to now, could you put a percentage like I've grown 10%, 20%, 40% every year?
Nah, man, I don't, dude. I'm so just, bro. I'm just cleaning snakes, man. That's what I do every day. I'm so just in that zone, dude, where the progression is. It's obviously slow, bro. It's so slow. You're talking about years for these projects.
Yeah.
It's hard to realize where all you came from, man.
Yeah. Listen,
You,
man, Emilio is great with percentages. He was the last guest, man. He does percentages and point, and I'm like, dude, I can't do all that. I
yeah,
can't
man.
figure that shit out.
It's not me, bro. I
Yeah,
wish
I
I
want
did.
to.
I wish I could, man. I know. I tell you, this is it's way bigger and way better than where it started, man. And I
Hell
think that
yeah.
as a breeder, every year should be your best season, man. If your next season's not your best season, then you didn't evolve your collection. You know, every
Yep.
year is my best year, man. You know,
Yeah, and it should be like every year coming should always be your best production year, right? Because then that means that you have growth, and that's beautiful. I like having and not needing
and
any
not
more.
even necessarily quantity, man, but quality. The quality should always evolve. Always. You should
Yeah,
keep your best animals, bro. And then your collection is going to evolve that way, man. Like we got to the point this year where we said we need to sell X amount of adults. And I've done that, you know, for years, man, where I'm like, oh, I'm keeping this and it's not matching up. I don't want to grow bigger than this number. We got to sell these adults. It's getting to where, man, we're walking around in here picking out adults. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going to make room for these other ones, you know, but I want to keep my collection at a size that our rat colony can like maintain very well, man. If I
yeah.
can't feed my animals very well, I don't want that many animals, dude. So
And you're breeding your own rodents, right? So, um, you said you have 8 to 900 animals, and you got to feed all those. Are you currently able to sustain feeding your whole collection?
oh for sure, man. I got like I said, man, Ed, bro, he's 30, 40 hours a week cleaning rodents, man. You know, he runs the building, bro. I go out
Yeah.
there and I'll get in where I fit in, dude.
Does he
With
do
the
snakes as well?
He does. He's got his own snakes, man. He just started all that. So it's been about a year now, bro, that he's been doing the rodents. But it's enough rodents that there's 40 hours a week for him to work, man.
Yeah. How many rodents you do in a week?
Oh man, it always fluctuates, dude. But we do a few thousand rodents a week. And that's
Fuck, that's
rats, mice, African soft furs. If it don't need a rat, man, I'll give it a mouse. If it don't need a mouse, I'll give it a soft fur.
yeah. How big was your operation when you decided you needed some help from outside and started hiring people to help you?
Probably
What that
way
look like?
bigger, probably way bigger than what it needed to be, dude. I still like, bro, I don't know how we did it sometimes, man. Just me and my wife, dude. But I've always had as many animals as I could take care of when I got off work. So it just that didn't change. I just don't go to work no more, man. I just do the animals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So
very
you got to the point where you were like, okay, we've been, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but you've had your hands full for a while, and then you were like, yo, listen, let me talk to Ed. Was that your first employee?
nah, dude. It's had a few like part timers and help and like, bro, it's never been that. It's always been the man. I know this person, and it's just kind of worked out where like they need something, dude, and
Yeah.
like I could use the help, man. And it
Yeah,
just
you weren't putting ads out in you weren't putting ads out on Craigslist for help. You were just
yeah.
it
And then
kind of
it's like then like Ed, dude, he kind of said something as a joke, dude, and I was like, man, I could use the help like that, man, and it kind of worked like that, dude.
yeah.
We already were friends and stuff, and he quit his job to come here and do that, man, and it's here. But then like I look at it sometimes and I'm like, man, that's 40 hours, bro. Like, where did that 40 hours come from, dude? Because we were doing it. But
Yeah.
you just live and breathe it. And I'm so used to just get up and grind all day. Like, bro, we
Yeah.
talked yesterday, man. I got up and was going at 8 in the morning. And, we were out here 10:30 pulling the clutch at night. And I still just all day getting it, man.
That's awesome that you had
Probably
that
not
that
the
you had
most
that
healthy
relationship.
relationship with work, bro.
Yeah.
But it's always working, but never working if it's something that you're genuinely passionate about, man.
Yeah, and that's the goal, right? That's the whole reason why I even started this podcast, because I wanted people to see, and I'm a firm believer that, um, you know, doing what you love and being able to provide for your family with that is the ultimate goal. You know, people are, they kind of shun. I don't want to say everybody, but some people they shun down the idea of thinking about money when it comes to the animals, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, the goal in life is to do what you love and to provide for your family by doing that.
See, man, like I hear that too all the time, man. The people that want to get on the soapbox, dude, and it's like, oh man, it's just the passion of the animals, and like I don't care about the money and stuff like that. I'm like, you can say that, and like, man, I genuinely love the animals, man. I'm blessed to be able to work with animals for a living, but like,
Hmm.
bro, I wouldn't have 1,000 of them where this is what I do 16 hours a day sometimes if you weren't trying to like at least support the hobby and make it a business, man. I could love the animals, be passionate about the animals with 100 of them and still have a life outside of it, man. But I don't. It's what I
Hmm.
live and breathe, man. But it has to be a business to be able to grow the collection that big, anyways, man. If there was
Yeah,
no money, like, bro, I couldn't have a collection this big, dude. I just couldn't do it. I would have to
yeah.
have a
No one's working a 9 to 5 and coming home to take care of 1,000 animals without thinking of some
it's
kind
just
of
not
financial.
possible, bro. I couldn't have this collection if I wasn't motivated by trying to make money to support the collection and be able to live and feed my family. I'd have a
Yeah,
9 to 5 job where I'd be working 40 to 70 hours somewhere a week. And I'd
right.
just like my entire life, I'd have just as many animals as I could take care of when I got off work, man. So
So yeah, what is like the next like 5, 10 years look like for American made exotics? What are some goals that you got going on for that?
oh man, dude, hopefully we still just doing what we're doing, man, and the market's still strong. And I'm just blessed to be able to do this every single day, man. It's like you blink your eyes and 14 years goes by, and I'm just still out here playing with snakes. Same thing, man. Hopefully, I blink my eyes and 10 more years goes down, and a lot of these projects that I'm working in my mind, hopefully, some of that's coming to fruition, man. And
Yeah,
hopefully
living
we
the dream, Matt.
hopefully we got exponentially larger amount of people in it, and the hobby's that much bigger.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love that. I love that you pull the trigger on making videos. You got great content.
I
Um,
appreciate it, man. It
you,
was hard for me to come out the shell, dude, and try to do it, but the once I got rolling with it, um, man, it's not really hard, dude. I'll be in here talking to myself all the time, dude, pulling this and that and thinking out loud. So as long as
yeah,
I keep
fucking,
it to where like, bro, I break the camera out while I'm working and doing something,
yeah,
I'm cool with it, man. I can vibe with that, man. they'll kind of give me shit, dude, and be like, man, you need to go change your shirt and put a clean shirt on and stuff. It's like, man, bro, the second that I start staging stuff like that, I can't do it, bro. It's not fun to me anymore. Like if I'm about to pull this clutch and I'm in the middle of working and I've worked 12 hours today and I break the camera out and share that with people, like I can do that, man. We can do that together. But yeah, man, I'm dirty, bro. I've been working 12 hours today. I've been out here scrubbing tubs or feeding snakes. Like I just I'm not going to portray that, bro. My animals are clean. I'll be dirty, bro, but that's why my animals are clean.
But
so
the animals are clean. Yeah, I love
where
that.
it's genuinely like real, then like
authentic,
man,
authentic and transparent.
I enjoy making the content if I keep it like that, dude. But the second I gotta not be myself and like, man, I gotta go change my clothes real quick at 10:30 at night because I want to look good pulling this clutch. Like, bro, I can't do that, man. They just have to joke on me, dude. It just is what it is, man. You know,
I love how fucking laid back you are. I love how laid back you are and chill, and you're just like, yo, man, it is what it is. I'm fucking living the dream, and that's what I do. And
bro, I mean, you couldn't do it and be clean all day, bro. I got bleach all on my shirt, man. Like, you know, I'm in here putting in the work, dude.
Yeah. Yo, what's the best combo snake that you could hit in like 6 years that you're looking forward to?
Man, yeah.
Take your time. Take your time.
Something I can't even think about, man. I've got the visual, the pastel desert ghost clown pod girl. That's gonna be breeding for me in a couple years, man. And then like that's gonna open a ton of doors for different directions that I could get. I've got lots of shots at desert ghost hypo clown stuff, desert ghost xanthic cryptics. I've got shots at this year ultramel puzzles, desert ghost puzzles, hypo puzzles, lavender puzzles. Excited for all that, man, and the different directions that I can take those. I've got a lot of hypo genetic stripe clown stuff. I got shots at genetic stripe clown, albino genetic stripe clown, albino pieds, which I don't know. Not even necessarily quads, man. I did that one for two different directions. I wanted to do something else with all the genetic stripe clown stuff I got. I think it would look good in albino. And then also the albino clown stuff I got, trying to get the pied into it, man. So a lot of the quad pairings I'm looking at like the triples and stuff I can make in those pairings too, man. Because the odds of hitting all four is so slim, but like how much cool triples am I going to hit in it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And
so hopefully, man, the stuff I'm doing in 6 years, I can't even grasp my brain around right now, man, because it's always just progressively growing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty far out to be thinking about. Honestly, like the 3-4 year marker is pretty standard when it comes to, where do you see your future, right? 3-4 years, I can figure that out.
Hopefully, you're doing the same thing, man. Hopefully, the economy stays strong. Snake market stays strong. Hopefully, we just still out here scrubbing tubs, dude.
Yeah. Is there any genetics that you look to stay away from?
Man, not necessarily, bro. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think spider, I'm weeding out my collection.
Probably not caramel albino.
That's gonna kink, man. So yeah, like the same like super cinnamons. Like I've tried that pairing before, like years ago, dude. That's one that like I will always avoid, man. I see like some beautiful stuff people hatch, but I have one right here beside me, man. That's a super cinnamon that I made years ago. But any that I made after that, man, they were kinked so bad. It's like, damn, I never want to do a pairing like that again, you know?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, man. You start cutting a clutch and everything's kinked up, bro. Like
super spot nose, that was one. I just did not know that. I feel like people should have talked about that more. But I did that pairing and was just like, oh my God, man, like they just wobble so bad. I'd never do something like that again, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hear some people talking about like, oh, I'll still do it. What do they call the super spot nose? It's a
Powerball.
Powerball, yeah. They're like, yo, I'm working the Powerball. And,
it was beautiful, bro, but man, they wobble so bad. Yeah. It's just like, dude, I don't ethically want to make that, man.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I heard word on the street don't quote me on this. I don't know if it's factual or not because I'm not doing it myself. But I heard if you slow cook them, that it reduces the potential of having like a severe wobble or
Really,
corkscrew or something like that. Yeah.
I
So
slow cook all mine, bro. I'm at
yeah.
87, man. My stuff pips at about day 60.
Okay. So you're incubating at 87, and are you finding a ratio of male to female any different? Are
Nah,
you
not
heavy on one
not
side?
really, not really, man. But I've always was taught too hot can kill, and too cold is just going to slow things down. So
Right.
if you know 87's in the acceptable range to incubate, I just go with 87, man. I don't feel like I need to push the envelope of getting them hotter just so I can hatch them faster. Um,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
my
you got
stuff,
patience.
yeah, day 60, bro. I don't cut until they start pipping either, man.
Nice, man. Are you working any genes that are maybe rare that aren't really on the market too heavy? Is there anything that you're working with that is rare?
Man, I guess it depends on what your definition of rare is, man. Because
Uh
I'm working with
low
it.
low
I've worked
availability.
somebody, dude. But I feel
Uh
like there's a lot of things that, like, I'll use Trojan, for example. I picked a lot of that Trojan stuff up.
yeah.
I wouldn't say necessarily rare. It's been around for a while, but I feel like it's super underrated, man. I feel like it has a lot of potential. And man, I'm working with that and I'm really excited with it, man. There's not a ton of them out there, but even the single gene version, man, is so just bright and vibrant.
Okay.
I know a lot of people don't like pastel, man, but the pastel with the Trojan was so bright. Pastel or the Enchi with the Trojan was so bright. The Orange Dream. I feel like it's an underrated gene, and we just
Yeah.
haven't seen really what the potential is yet, man. So I work with that. Then on the flip scale of it, like Monsoon and I've got stuff like that I guess you would consider rare on the opposite end just because it's new and exciting and there's not a ton of them available.
Right.
But you know, I feel like they're both rare, man. You could go buy a Trojan right now for probably not that much money. And I feel like there's a lot of genes like that we get so fixated on seeing what somebody else is doing and
Yeah.
chasing that we overlook a lot of the other stuff, like True Ghost, for example.
Yes.
Double recessive with two genes that have been around for ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, how
decade.
come we haven't seen more with the True Ghost yet? Because, man, it's just a crazy, crazy combo, man. Like, I see Limey in here, dude. I've seen he's got the TSK stuff, True Ghost,
Yeah.
some crazy animals, bro.
Yeah.
He's almost made me buy into TSK, dude, and I just got VPI and I stick
Yep.
with that. But he's
Yeah, I got
somebody
the
that's doing a lot with True Ghost too, dude.
yeah,
I
so is
feel like
Emilio from
underrated,
Villarino. He
man.
loves the
And
True Ghost.
I think it's gonna pick up, man, because people start looking at, like, man, what has potential that people are neglecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know
So
a lot of stuff I
on
tried to
two
pick up
things
that.
on two things that you just said. You said pastel looks good in something, right? And I agree with you. Pastel actually looks really good in a lot of things. There's only a few things that it doesn't look too good in. Um, and then the second thing was you talk a lot about hypo, man, and I fucking love that because
Yeah,
hypos age so well and they look so beautiful as adults that people are
yeah,
sleeping on that shit. And to hear that you are passionate about hypo and you got it running through a lot of different projects, like, bro, salute. I love to hear that.
yeah. I think a lot of people just get fixated on what other people are doing, dude. And just like the pastel, bro. As soon as one person said, I don't like pastel, it was like overnight, bro. Everybody wants to repeat that same thing. And it's like, dude, I'm gonna show you this pastel desert ghost combo that's like highlighter yellow. And like, how can you tell me that like that's trash? It
Yeah.
has its place, man. Yeah, it doesn't need to be in everything, but that's probably every single gene that's out there, man. It
Yeah,
don't need to be in
100%.
everything, but like, man, it has its place, bro. I love it. I've stolen some animals from people just because it had pastel stacked into it too, and they're
Yeah.
just like, "Ah, it's got pastel, dude. It's worthless." And I was just like, "Holy shit, man!"
Thank
I,
you.
yeah, dude. And it'll be like, something new and cutting edge, man. And they're like, "Ah, pastel, dude. It's worthless." And it shocks me that people have that mentality, man. It might not work in everything, but dude, it has its place in the hobby. And you're talking about one of the OGs in the whole industry to begin with, man. I
Yeah.
remember when pastels, like, bro, it mattered what line of pastel you had. You know, that's what we were doing, was playing with pastel.
Yeah, there's
So
different lines of pastel. I remember hearing about
I'll
those stuff.
never not have it in my
Citrus
collection.
pastel, black pastel.
Lemon pastel, bro. You know,
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a lemon pastel.
I'll
See?
work with it, dude. Yeah, I think it fits in with a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah. Did someone say hypo? Yes, we love hypo around here, Lynn Worm. So, yo, when you're maybe stuck or you're looking for like advice or some guidance, like who do you go to? Like, who's your I don't want to say a mentor, but someone that you rely on and bounce things back and forth with. I know you were talking about Levance earlier. Is
Yeah,
there
bro.
like,
That's family, man. I've bounced so many ideas off of Vance, and like, bro, Levance is really one of them people that man, he's always gonna push everybody to be the best of their ability, dude. It's genuinely one of the people I know in the hobby that genuinely feels good to see everybody else succeed, and
yeah,
very positive person, man. So like, he's always there to motivate me to go out my comfort zone, dude. Vance will force me to go out my comfort zone, man, and it's good to have a friend like that that
yeah,
you on and push you, dude, like that. So I say
yeah, that
he's one
believes in you and almost sees your potential before you even see it, right?
for sure, bro. I think, it's just a very positive influence on the hobby, bro. I think he try to motivate everybody and see everybody succeed. So definitely with me, man. Like, I've bounced so many ideas off him. Um, Shit, when I got Stranger, man, Vance called me and was like, "Man, Shift, like, this animal's on Morph Market. Somebody just posted it." He's like, "Killer deal, dude." He was like, "I've already got it." He was like, "You need to buy it." He's like, "If you don't buy it, I'm gonna buy it. So just let me know." You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like, man, he threw me the ball on that, bro. And he could have not. He could have bought the animal himself, but genuinely would just rather see me succeed. And he's already working with it. He'd rather see us work together, and not just us, man, but everybody. He'd rather work together than just
yeah,
him trying to have the whole pie for himself, bro.
yeah,
And
man.
that's just
Listen,
one example, man.
yeah, good friends become family, and family wants to see you win, and
Yeah,
they do what they can to guide you in the best direction that they think they could guide you in, right?
yeah, for
So
sure,
it's
bro.
super important to, if you got any people out there that are just always fucking bashing your ideas or bashing your dreams, like you need to surround yourself with different people. It's super important to have a support system that lifts you up and encourages you and says, "Hey, look, man, I see where you're gonna be before you see where you're gonna be, and I'm gonna fucking help you get there."
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, bro.
it's
Hey,
beautiful,
he'll
man.
extend that hand, bro, and try to bring you along, dude, and help pull you up, man.
And that's a
So
fucking hell of a mentor or friend to have, bro. Levance is big dog.
yeah, for sure, bro. Like I said, man, he's helped me out a lot, dude.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I love hearing stories like that, bro. So what are some of the habits that you attribute to your success? Like just your own personal habits.
Probably a very unhealthy relationship with work, man. I probably say that's number one, dude. I'm always out here grinding in the snake building. The
Yeah,
phone, bro. Probably unhealthy relationship with that too, dude. I've always picked the phone up and respond to people, man.
yeah,
Um, it's hard. I gotta try to have a balance, man. Like, I got the daughter. Like, man, sometimes I gotta just put it down and force myself to go into family mode. But is that, man? I live and breathe it, dude. The snakes,
yeah,
from the second I wake up in the morning, I'm watching Morph Market like it's the stock market, man. I'm always like, I watch everything, man, all day, whether I'm buying, not, if it's a project I'm interested in. Like, bro, I'm
yeah,
watching what other people are doing, what other people are making, what they're posting. Like,
yeah.
Facebook, all the groups, seeing what other people are posting, what they're talking about, um, talking with peers and friends. Like, man, I really truly live and breathe it all day, every day, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. And you know what? That's becoming obsessed with what you love and what you do is what helps build that success, right? Talking to anybody that is successful in any industry they're in, you're gonna hear them say the same thing,
Right.
very similar. Like, hey, look, I fucking live, eat, breathe, sleep, everything this.
Yeah, I know it, man. The first step's admitting you got a problem, bro. And I know that, and I try to make sure I always keep it in check with family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
of course, man.
daughter's
Family
number one
first.
priority, dude. I always got to do that, but I'll get on the phone, bro. they already know, man. I'll sit down with them, you know, Saturday morning or something, man, and we'll get some family time. And man, they know eventually I'm gonna be like, man, let me go check on things real quick. And like, I'm about to be gone for about 5 hours, dude. You know?
Yeah, real quick is never real quick, man. Real quick is always hours.
Yeah. So once you get in here and start poking around, dude, it's easy to let the day slip away from you. So I try to keep it in a balance, bro.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's important, bro. You know, we're doing it for the family, but also gotta make sure we spend some time with the family.
For sure, dude.
That's
She's
why we're
getting
doing it,
into
right?
it a little bit, man. Now that she's getting a little older, man, that's kind of what got us the Amazons and rainbows and the carpets is all stuff I'm trying to keep small scale. They're in like display cages and stuff. I'm trying to keep it in the house, bro. So like I can enjoy that with her, man. She'll come out to the shop some, dude, but you know, she's 10, man. It's all a sea of racks and tubs, man, and she'll open them and stuff a little bit, man. But she likes other stuff too, man.
Yeah.
And I don't really have to twist my arm to kind of nurture that, man. Anything that's nature and animals and like, man, I'll egg it on, dude, if she shows interest in it, man.
So that's beautiful, brother. You encourage, and I encourage all of you to encourage your children to be involved with animals, and it doesn't matter if it's a fur baby or a scaleless or you know, it has fins.
Yeah.
You know, just get out there and love animals, man. It's a beautiful thing for children to have, besides video games and, you know, hanging out and doing stupid stuff.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. So, yo, is there anything that I might have missed that you maybe would like to add to help people that are looking to get into the reptile business and take it more seriously? Is there anything that I missed that maybe you'd like to add and
Ah,
uh,
man, we fit a lot of it, dude. I think probably one of the biggest ones, man, is, you know, you got to work on stuff that you're passionate about, and you got to turn the noise down to the negativity, dude. Because if I listened to everybody that told me no, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today, dude. Um, you just got to keep your head down and grind on what you're passionate about, man. And if you focus on that, and you're really truly passionate about it, and you have healthy animals and your animals are cared for to the best of your ability, like the money's gonna come, man, eventually. Once you get out and do the shows and people see how enthusiastic you are about it, and you're passionate about this animal that you put years into making, and
Mhm.
you know, if you're passionate about it, man, it's gonna sell itself.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love that. So what what where can people find you, right? But where do you spend most of your time after you say where everyone can find you?
Man, I got the website americanmadeexotics.com. Morph Market now, that's like a big presence in reptiles, man. I think it's evolved now where that's like one of probably the predominant online presence. And then other than that, man, Facebook, Instagram. Um, I'm not super active on it. I try to be. I need to do better. I am
Mhm.
there. YouTube, we're starting to do that, man. Um,
You got
shows.
any you vending any shows coming up?
Yeah, we are, man. We got I think Greenville, North Carolina, that's Mid Atlantic Reptile Show. That's the end of June. And then I think first week of July, I think we have Charlotte Repticon coming up. Um, we got Raleigh Repticon coming up, I think in August. And then also in August we have Show Me Snakes. They're doing a big show in Virginia Beach. We're
Okay.
gonna do that one, man.
Fuck
So
yeah. So yeah, if you
Baltimore,
guys want to,
September.
I'm sorry, say that last one again.
Baltimore, Maryland. We'll be up there in September again. That's the first time we've gone. That area, Maryland. That was a good show, man. It was nice to see a whole new set of faces and meet some people that I've talked to for years online and I've never met them. So that's
Yeah.
probably the coolest part about getting out there and doing the shows, man, is we form a lot of these relationships on the computer, and you know the person, you know, by their name, but you've never met them and talked to them in person, man. And it's cool to put the faces with the names, man, especially when it's through Morph Market and you know them by like their business name and stuff, you know. And
Yeah, I always say that, man. Like I know a lot of people by their business names, but if they walked past me, I would have no idea that that's who they are.
yeah, for
Um,
sure, dude.
you know, so we got to get better about connecting the faces with the names, and yeah, it's pretty dope. So, if there's a show that you wish you could vend, what would it be? Would it be like a Tinley or Daytona or Arlington, Anaheim?
I'll be for real with you, man. Like I did the last Tenley. Bro, I love these little shows, dude, because like Tenley, man, it is a lot of more the politics, man, the business side, like money, dude, like people, like we talking about money, and like that's cool. It has its place too. But like, man, you go to these little shows, like I want to see the people that come up and just like, man, I don't know what that is. Like, I really like that. And you know, we're talking about like the animals, bro. Like that's what I want to talk about is you know, let's be excited about the animals together, man. And I go to a lot of these little shows and you know, the families with their kid and you
Yeah,
know,
it's more
like,
personable.
yeah, bro, it's way more just like the animals, bro. That's what we're doing. We're there just we really appreciate the animals, man. And not knocking the big shows, dude, but I still I like the little shows better, man. I
Yeah,
feel like
no, that's fucking cool, man.
it's more as far as the big one. I think I would like Timley more from the consumer standpoint, bro. Like I've done it both ways. I've vended it and I've just gone and hanged out. It
Right.
sucks to be I drove 13 hours to go to the biggest show in the country. And it's like, bro, I couldn't even walk around and see everything because it's so crowded and I'm behind a table. And it's like, man, you're in this great show with all these great animals and all your peers, and the whole thing just passed you by and you didn't even get to soak it in for real. Whereas I like just going and walking around. And it's kind of like, man, you got the whole weekend to just kind of go look what everybody else is doing, man, and talk and see their stuff. And so
Yeah,
from
last year I went to
bro, I like the little shows. The bigger ones, man, I'd much rather go and just kind of hang out, bro, and maybe shop a little bit, look around. Um,
yep.
you know,
Even the big shows, like I went to Daytona last year and I wasn't vending, obviously. I was just there attending.
uh,
And it was just craziness, man. You meeting so many people, there's a ton of things to see, you're talking, you're socializing, you're trying to see animals. You know, 2 days, 2.5 days goes by extremely fast, man. Extremely fast.
yeah.
Literally,
Well, dude, this
uh
one's so crowded that
yeah,
you
feels impossible to see everything.
bro, the crowd is moving about 1 inch a minute. You know what I mean? And you can't push past them. It's like, man, you'll be gone for an hour and made it, you know, a few yards away from the table, and it's like,
Yeah, you're
shit,
at the third table.
I got to get back to the table, man. You know, it's like I didn't even get to see probably half of the show, man. I tried multiple times, but it's like you got two guys at the table. I can't just leave him for an hour. You know what I mean? I get back and I feel like the
Yeah,
whole show passed me by, bro, and I didn't even get to soak it in and enjoy it.
yeah, 100%. So, all right, so listen, man, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm super grateful, Matt, that you gave me your time and you
Bro, I
came out
appreciate
here
it,
and
man.
hanging
I
out.
had a lot of fun with you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I definitely will call this a new friendship and like just
For
talking to
sure,
you,
dude.
man, and hearing your perspective and shooting the shit and hearing what your thoughts are on my opinions and you're giving me guidance, right? I'm here to learn too, just like everybody else is.
I still,
Um,
man, I probably learned from you, dude. I learned from everybody, man. I love hearing how people do it, and
yeah,
I might implement something that you do that's different than what I do, man. And like I say, you can always do things better, man.
yeah, 100%. No matter how big you are or how high on the pyramid you are, you can always learn something and apply something new and
For
different that could
sure,
help
man.
you. So yeah, man, just a big salute to you, man. Listen, if you guys are watching and you want to see Matt in person, you can hit the rewind a little bit, hear what shows he's gonna be at. Go say what's up. Don't be nervous. Don't be intimidated. Matt is super cool, down to earth. Love to talk to you about animals and projects and you know, just phenomenal human being, man. Like, just fucking thank
I
you for being
appreciate
on
it,
here with
bro,
me.
for sure, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually all his links are in the description below. Definitely follow his YouTube, go sub his channel. He's putting out awesome content, amazing pairings, amazing projects. Instagram, everything's in there. So go check that out. Make sure you follow him everywhere. Even on Morph Market, you can follow people there, so never miss what he's posting. Um, After tonight's show, we're gonna do a little giveaway for a T-shirt in just a minute. But after tonight's show, we got Hair Down Friday on Keys Constrictor's YouTube channel. It starts at 8:15, where we all get together and we shoot the shit, talking about reptiles, talking about industry stuff, showing off animals. You can definitely check us there. Come hang out. We have awesome panels every week, new guests every week, pulling out all different types of species. It's a really good time. So Keys Constrictor's YouTube, check that out. Nicole, Lady Tiz Exotics, She has Reptiles and Cocktails on Saturday at 1 p.m. Definitely go check her out. She's full of knowledge. We call her the retic queen for a reason. Definitely go check that out. After Lady Tiz at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have Sophisticated Ignorance, which is Wiz Constrictor's YouTube channel, where it's very similar, where we all get together and we just hang out. Talk about it's a different vibe than Hair Down Friday, but it's like Hair Down Friday, right? So T Keys has his vibe, Wiz has his vibe, and it's just a good time in both places. Um, Definitely go check that out. Then we got F&A Balls. We got uh oh, they're gonna kill me. uh it's at 4 p.m. It starts at 4 p.m. Oh, Wake and Bake with Snakes. There we go. They're not gonna kill me, bro. I fucking forgot it for a second. Wake and Bake with Snakes on Sunday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, and they run through all the 420s of each time zone, and we have a great time. And they give stuff away and do all kinds of fun uh, races and different giveaways. They always have a new guest on. It's gonna be a lot of fun there, so check that out. Let's see. All right, so listen, I'm going to do the giveaway for the t-shirt. Let me show you guys, if you're new here, what that t-shirt's going to look like. Boom, there it is. My Favorite Reptile Podcast in the front, Alluring Serpents on the back, and some exclusive stuff on the t-shirt, 101 quality t-shirts for you guys. So the way we're going to run this is the first 5 people to put something in the comments will be put on a wheel, and then I'm going to spin the wheel, and whoever it lands on out of those 5 is going to be the person that wins it. If you are the winner, make sure that you DM me on Instagram and give me your information, your size, and your address, and I'll get that out to you. So right now I am in the chat. I feel bad because I have an iPhone, and we have certain things that Android users don't have, right? So I'm going to do 3 hashtags, and the first 5 people to put those 3 hashtags um, will be put on the wheel for the t-shirt. So just give me 1 second, and we will get that going. Let's see. Here, oh, did I just say that out loud? Okay. All right, there we go, guys. I'm about to put it there. What's going on, Dan the man? Appreciate you being here, bro. Kaju, thank you, bro. It was a great show. Matt did great. All right, guys. 3 hashtags. They're on their way. First 5 to put those 3 accurately will be put on the wheel, and then we'll get it going, and then we'll end this, wrap it up, take a little break, maybe eat some food. Matt, like I said, you're more than welcome to join us on Hair Down, where we're just gonna be vibing, and you can show off some of these dope animals that we've been talking about on the show.
That's what's
And
up.
yeah, it's pretty dope, man.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate it. You might have to tell me how to get up there, man. You know, I'm
No
not
doubt.
good with technology, bro.
No doubt, man. I got you, big dog. All right, so first 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got our 5 guys. So it looks like Will's Hella Heat, Joe Kingdom Pythons, Mitzi Ann, Windy City, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Morph Valley. Yo, Morph Valley's quick with it. You guys got to be quick with it, guys. All right, so that's the 5 right there. Hold on, right there. Will, Joe, Mitzi, 1, and all right. I'm gonna do it on my phone, guys, because last time I did it on the computer, started lagging out. Shit kicked me off. It's horrible, embarrassing. All right. Oh my god, the green screen's gonna fuck with me. Hold on a second, guys. How do I change the color on this thing? All right, green screen problems, big dog.
Bro, I hope you ain't asking me for help, man.
No, I'm not asking you for help, big dog. I'm just talking shit to myself.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I don't know. Fuck it. Green screen or not, you guys can see what the numbers are. It'll tell you who the winner is anyway. Boom. Let's go. Wheel is spinning, guys. And the winner is number 3, Mitzi Ann. That's awesome. Yo, congratulations. Love that. So yeah, you already know. DM me and I'll get your information and I'll send that out to you. If I owe you any t-shirts right now or any sweaters, they're all done. I just need to ship them out. Appreciate your patience. I'm a one-man show and I make t-shirts myself and I got a lot of shit going on. So my apologies for that. But yo, thank you so much everybody for being here. Matt, you're fucking awesome, bro. I will talk to you in just a little bit.
Everybody taking the time to watch, man. And
Yeah,
interacting with you, for sure. Appreciate
just
you up here, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know what? People deserve to know who you are, and you're awesome, man. And I hope that this brings traffic to you because you're fucking cool, man. And that's what's up. Just hang out for me. Hang out for me real quick. I'm gonna run the video real quick, and then we'll end the broadcast, and then we'll chop it up real quick.
What's up, bro? Yeah, man.
All right, awesome. Again, thank you, everybody. We'll see you in a little bit on Hair Down Friday.